Hello again, it's JANG here with another custom creation, another mock. This is a car carrier car, train car that is, all custom made. Looks very, very weird. Had to specially make the cars, the actual automobiles inside to fit with this thing. I am aware that there is no top on it, but I had a hard height limit. I had a maximum height that I could go for this to still be able to go through the tunnel, the main tunnel, on my layout, and I'm not interested in making that tunnel any taller, the opening or the hole for it any taller, because already these cars, these train cars, are as tall as I want them to possibly be for realism's sake, just for the proportions. I think that this is as tall as I want to ever see them go. They just start to look really weird when you go farther than that, to me, for the stuff that I'm doing. So I built this thing up based on a well car base because I needed to get the bottom cars down as low as possible. I actually had to do a couple tricks in here just to clear a couple studs on their roofs of the ones underneath. Unfortunately, I do have to have one car facing backwards. I realize that they don't do that in real life with these things. I understand how they work. I understand the efficiencies of how they're actually linked together and all that, but I did the best that I could within this very specific constraints that I set upon myself, and that did require turning one of these around on the bottom. Now, though this thing looks weird, some of that is actually for the sake of function, because this thing kind of works. Now, this does work a little bit better on the layout itself, on the tracks, especially at a crossing or a place where you've got a leveled out area. But what you can do is you can take this, and these little hinges on the sides look odd, but they're actually helping to hold up the upper level. So you can bring this down, kind of works like a ramp, and these work like anchors. So if you were on rails, then this would be very near the level of the rails, and then if you level that out on top with tiles, then you can actually drive the cars out. And you just need to turn these hinges out, because the cars are 4 wide, so that leaves them there. These hinges catch just underneath these upper tracks up there, but this can be moved up a little bit. The top one can be moved up to allow the bottom cars to be driven out. See, and I would be able to drive right out. Then once the bottom cars are out, I didn't take the other one out, I can take that out at the other end, but once that's done, then you can lower this, and you can drive the cars from the upper level right down the ramp. Obviously this is going backwards, they should be loaded from the other end, but you get the idea, right? So it actually ends up working. So I'm happy about that. I think that turned out pretty nicely. Let's get this guy out. And I'm gonna go ahead and take out all of the cars. These would be able to come down, and that's kind of what it looks like completely empty. Now you can see with the upper ramps lowered down, you can see the tracks, how you get just a nice area where you can just drive right through. It's not too much of an angle to get them up in there, and also even the ones down below, the areas down below don't have too much of an angle to the little bits of ramp there. So in all, the thing, it works. It does look very strange, but it does work, and I think it works pretty well. I might alter the aesthetics of it a little bit at some point, but for now, I'm happy mostly with the function of it. So let's take a look at the cars, the automobiles. These things were designed not only with the constraint of size and trying to get them as small as reasonably possible without making them look completely like just mini cars or even micro cars, but I was also constrained by parts on hand. As always, broken record with me, but it's just such a truism. You're limited by parts. Doesn't matter what quantity of parts you have. It's a matter of having the parts in the specific configurations, colors, and shapes that you need to pull something off. So I was just barely able to get I could not make one single other one of these in a consistent color scheme. This is using up all the parts that I have that would fit together. And these kind of look like little Jensen interceptors, I would say, like a really comical version, really weird proportions version of a Jensen interceptor or something like that. A little bit of Saab in there, maybe a little bit of old school Citroen in there. I don't know. I think they have some character to them, and I wanted them to all look pretty much the same. I wanted them to look like they were all coming over from the factory. and just had a couple different options, like different factory options, different trim levels, so hence the different colors of windows, which is actually hiding for the fact that I didn't have all the windscreens in the same color, but I also put on a couple different styles of wheels there also. So just a little thing, and most importantly also, it is functional. You can put a person in there. So that was another constraint that I put in there. I didn't want these to just be for looks only by themselves. I did want to be able to put a figure in there and have enough clearance for the head to actually fit in there so you can really truly drive around in the city with these. So here's what the Car Carrier looks like in context, actually coupled up onto my longest freight train so far. And I wish that the pylons and the supports were a little bit thinner. I feel like they're a little bit on the bulky side, especially with the use of yellow. I feel like I might be getting a little bit too much yellow into my train now. Might work on that in the future and just stay away from yellow for quite a while and try to go with things that are a little bit more demure, not so bright. But you can see it does go around the layout, and that's really what I needed. So I'm happy with the function, not so happy with the look just right now, but I think the compromise worked out okay. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that you enjoyed that, and hope that you'll stick around to check out more, because more are on the way. Talk to you soon.